Hi guys, so we are back with part 2 for our US ally tier list, and as before we will be going down countries by GDP and ranking them on a tier list in terms of their relationship with the United States. So kicking off the bat we have Australia. So as of late, they have kind of moved down in terms of their relationship with the United States. That is because they have been giving into more of China's demands. However, they are both ex-British colonies, they are both frontier societies, they have served together in a lot of wars, and they still share a lot of strategic interests, so Australia is definitely still an A-tier ally. Alright, next up we have Brazil, and surprisingly there's not really a history of major friendship or hostilities between these two nations, despite their enormous size and the fact that they both are on the western hemisphere of the world. However, recently in 2013 it was uncovered that the NSA had been spying on Brazilians, and this actually made the Brazilian president give a speech calling out the US at the United Nations. But this has since died down, and there's still a large amount of cultural influence. I mean, who could forget the incredible groundbreaking movie that was Rio? Jokes aside, but anyway, there's definitely a lot of cross-cultural communication. However, officially there's not been a lot of cross-governmental communication, so I think Brazil is definitely a C-tier ally to the United States. Alright, next up we have Spain. So in the beginning things were a little hostile between these two countries. The US basically gobbled up a lot of Spain's former empire, and then things were even more hostile with the fascist dictatorship of Franco. However, since then, the two countries have a pretty good relationship, mostly based on tourism, so I would definitely put Spain as a B-tier ally to the United States. Alright, next up, definitely the most complicated relationship the United States has. A person in my last video commented about this, in fact, so here it is. The most complicated relationship the United States has. So, with Mexico, there is a long history of a relationship, very off-again, on-again relationship. If you want a really in-depth look at this relationship, I would suggest watching Kraut's video, which you can find in the link up here. It really goes in-depth on the history of this relationship. So, basically, the United States irrationally fears Mexico, which, if you actually look at the history of US-Mexico relations, you will see that the US has really nothing to fear, and a weak Mexico basically benefits the elites of both societies, while a unified Mexico helps the average citizens of both societies. And the citizens' opinions of each other are really more of a reflection of the politics of each other's countries than the actual relationship, and I think the actual relationship between the US and Mexico is actually pretty strong. So I would put Mexico as a B-tier ally to the United States. Even though they have a very off-again, on-again relationship, it's definitely still strong. Alright, next up we have Indonesia, and it is a very strong capitalist nation in a strategic area. However, it doesn't have the best track record in terms of human rights, especially with East Timor, which actually caused the United States to cut off military funds to Indonesia. However, it is still a very useful ally, especially now against China, so I would put Indonesia as a B-tier ally to the United States. Next up we have the Netherlands. The US and the Netherlands share a very close bond in terms of their love of capitalism, sometimes to their own detriment, and the Netherlands also provides the US with a lot of adult fun, and they are both very strong strategic allies, so I would definitely put the Netherlands as a A-tier ally to the United States. Alright, next up we have Switzerland. So despite staying neutral in World War II, they definitely did not want to stay neutral in the Cold War, because with all those banks, they really gotta support capitalism. So I would definitely say Switzerland is an A-tier ally of the United States. Alright, next up we have Saudi Arabia. So I've already done a video on this, you can find that in the link up here. So basically the gist of that is that the US and Saudi Arabia have had a decently strong relationship, but now that relationship is gonna get a lot worse with the rise of electric vehicles. Alright, next up we have Turkey. And this relationship is another one that has gotten a lot worse. Definitely with Biden's recognition of the Armenian genocide, Erdogan's grip on power tightening and him becoming more of an autocrat, and Turkey's growing influence in the Levant. And last on our list, we have Taiwan. Not officially a country, the United States doesn't even officially recognize it, but let's be honest, without the US, Taiwan would not exist. China would have gobbled it up by now. So I would definitely put Taiwan as an S-tier ally to the United States, because the US supports Taiwan's basic existence, and Taiwan is a very strategic ally to the United States. So I would definitely say that Taiwan has an S-tier relationship with the United States. Alright, so thank you guys for tuning in and sticking around to the end of this video. If you guys like that, remember to subscribe and leave a like. Thanks.